Chit Chat with Derek and Pat. Chit Chat with Derek and Pat. Family business talk. Main companies who walk the talk. Here's another fine episode. Chit Chat with Derek and Pat.
Welcome back to Chit Chat with Derek and Kat. I am Derek Volk. I am the owner and CEO of Volk Packaging Corporation, a family-owned business located in Biddeford, Maine. We make corrugated boxes. And this is my partner in crime, Catherine Wygant Fossett.
Hi.
Catherine is the executive director of the Institute for Family-Owned Business, which Volk Packaging is proud members of. And we are here to interview Maine businesses and Maine family businesses in particular. And today we have on the show Matt McAdam. He is from McDougal Orchards, one of Maine's oldest businesses, which we will talk about shortly. Welcome to the show, Matt.
Welcome.
Hi, thank you so much. Appreciate it.
So tell us about McDougal Orchards. What do you do there?
So at this point, we are a U-pick fruit orchard. So we have customers come in. We grow 40 different varieties of apples, peaches, plums, nectarines, raspberries, some winter squash. We're only open to the public for about 3 months out of the year. The business has kind of evolved through the generations. So, it started out as just a family farm and then kind of went into commercial apples, and then now has transitioned into U-pick and more of the agritourism sector, as the the business has adapted to what the family needs and certainly what the community needs as well.
Yes, so you won the Geiger Environmental Leadership Award last year. Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you.
And you go, family business goes back to 1776. So
1779.
1779. Okay. Well, a few years off. Pretty close.
That's all right.
So you say that that's only open 3 months out of the year. What are you doing the other months out of the year?
So the other months out of the year, currently, so right now, from like February through now, we prune all of our apple trees and our fruit trees. So that we have about a little over 4,000 trees. So that takes a fair amount of time.
Yeah.
So I have a crew of about 3 or 4, and it takes us like 2.5 months to get through all of those trees. So we can do about 30 to 40 trees a day, about 15 to 20 minutes a tree. And then we start when the plants start growing, we start treating for pests and diseases, making sure the fruit's growing well, thinning, which is basically taking some of the fruit off so that you can get a little more size on the rest of the fruit. So there's always things to do. So we're working, I would say 10 out of the probably 12 months out of the year on that crop, all of those crops to make sure they're perfect for our customers.
How many staff do you have to do that?
It varies between the year to year, but probably full-time seasonal staff, I probably have, I would say maybe 5 to 6, including myself, my parents, and then 3 or 4 others.
So you're a McAdams.
Yes.
And it's McDougal Farms. So explain that.
So McDougal is my mother's maiden name.
Okay.
So it's her side of the family. So originally we're on Hanson Ridge Road here in Springvale, Sanford area. So it was the Hanson family that started the farm. And then my great great grandfather came from New Mexico, and his name was McDougal. his father-in-law passed away. He ended up taking over the orchard. And I think it was 2001 officially, the business was kind of split to Hanson Farms, which owns all the land, and then McDougal Orchards, which manages the land for Hanson Farm.
Okay.
So, yep.
So is McDougal, is that Scottish or Irish or
Scottish.
Scottish? Is that
McAdam
your
is
tartan
Irish.
that you're wearing there?
Yeah.
Scottish
This isn't
tartan?
our tartan, but this is just one of our shirts that I got embroidered. But I do have a family tartan.
Oh, cool. I won't ask if you're wearing a kilt.
No, I'm not. A little chilly this time of the year for that.
What's the first, speaking of chili, what's the first crop that comes in? What's the first one that you see that shows up?
First crop that comes in is usually our peaches. So that's like end of July, early August. And
That
again,
late?
Yep.
Wow.
So it depends on the weather. So 2 years ago, nobody in the state of Maine had peaches because we got down to negative, I think it was like negative 15, which killed all the flower buds. But last year we had a bumper crop. Fantastic. So I'm thinking probably this year we're not going to have as big of a crop, but even if we have half of what we had last year, it'll be a great year. So.
And do you wholesale this out, or is this all the people come and pick, or is just local
Yep.
people getting the produce?
Yep, it's all customers. We don't do any wholesale anymore. So it's either the customers that come in and pick, or we do pick for our farm store that we have here on the property, and that's all of our sales. So it's direct to customers.
And how did the snow work today or yesterday that we had? I mean, how was the weather?
Yesterday we pruned for about till about noontime when it started really coming down, and then it got pretty slick. So I sent my crew home, and then I was able to work on some other more owner type things to do with the business. But certainly when the weather's adverse, we make sure our crew is safe. And
but I meant, like, how does that affect the crop? Like, is it harmful that we had?
Nope. We didn't have any issue. It doesn't affect the crop. Usually, the saying is that snow is like the poor man's fertilizer. So.
Yes. Well, I put my deck furniture out optimistically, and then I'm like, oh, now it's covered in snow. And I live in Bruce Bay on the coast, so you'd think there wouldn't be so much.
Yeah, we got some fertilizer in the other day, and we put it in one of the buildings where we keep our plow truck. And I thought about taking the plow off, and I'm like, no, if I do that, we're gonna get another round of snow. And of course, here we are. And I'm glad I didn't take the plow off the truck.
What do you have at you said you have a storefront?
Mm-hmm.
First of all, where is that located for the listener?
So it's right on the property. It's in our barn that was built in, I think it was 1843 is when that was built. So it's right in the front of our barn. Again, it's open for like 3 months out of the year when we're open to the public. So we sell any of the varieties that are of apples that are ready. We work with some other local businesses to sell maple syrup. So we have a maple syrup producer that's less than a mile down the road from us. He also has honey, and so his honeybees pollinate our trees.
Oh, nice.
And we have local jams and jellies and other crops that we grow. We do pick your own flowers, all kinds of stuff. Cider, apple cider. Yep.
So people can. I've only been to pick apples. I've never been to pick anything else.
Mm-hmm.
Can people pick? You listed off a number of fruit at the beginning. People can pick all of them.
Yep, all of them when they're ready to be picked. So we keep a pretty close eye on things to make sure that they're at the prime ripeness for our customers, because we don't want them to get fruit that's not ripe or overripe. that doesn't taste good or goes bad really quickly. And we also grow about 15 or 20 different heirloom or heritage varieties as well. So those we also keep a pretty close eye on, so that we know what we have, and because there's certain customers that are looking for specific apples, and they come at certain times, and some of those are, they don't taste really good until about the time that they're ripe, whereas other varieties, they taste pretty good, but they taste even better when the prime ripeness is there.
So is that generally like August, September, October? Because I know at the end of the awards last year, you said you had 2 more days that they were open. So if I count back, so peaches are ready in July, but you probably in August,
so
September.
End of July, early August is when our earliest varieties are ready. So typically, if we have peaches, we'll open towards the beginning of August. And then if we don't, for some reason, it's more of like mid-August is when the first variety of apples is ready.
And have you always done this, or did you have other things that you did growing up?
So one of the big things when before coming back was that my parents told me that if I really wanted to come back, that I had to go out and do some other things before I came back.
Yeah.
I didn't really know I wanted to come back until probably like the week before I went to college. So I've always, I've always done this, but I didn't really appreciate it until then. So I went to Southern Maine Community College, did an associate's in horticulture there, up to UMaine, finished up and in horticulture as well. Once I finished at UMaine, I went into the wild blueberry industry for a couple of years. Throughout my college years at SMCC and after wild blueberry industry, I worked at Estabrooks Nursery and Greenhouse for a long time. And after doing the wild blueberries, I came back there for about 5 years and managed their nursery as well. So I worked at all 3 of their locations. I started out as, just a regular nurseryman, and then worked my way up to a manager. That's a great family business as well. They've expanded and such a just incredible. They put a new planting facility in and stuff. I did get a huge amount of experience there. The Estabrook family is amazing. They're awesome.
So you can nominate them for the awards this year.
Yes, definitely.
There you go.
Yes. So I did a bunch of things, and I was getting a little burnt out. And so I made the decision to come back here in 2021.
Who is in the business besides you? What are the family members
Myself,
are actively involved?
Yep. So my parents, and then my sister as well. So my parents are kind of stepping back. At this point, I believe my sister and I own about 70% of the business, and my parents are kind of they're still around. They're still doing a lot of stuff that needs to be done, but they're stepping back and trying to help us transition to running the business ourselves. Currently, I'm the orchard manager, so I manage basically all of the outdoor activities, anything that needs to happen in the orchard, all the equipment. I don't do as much of the office work or that. My mom and my sister typically, everybody does a little bit of everything. So we just try to kind of, if somebody is not around, we all can be available to run the business. Currently, my parents are on vacation, taking a river cruise in Europe. So
nice, good for them.
I am right now the sole person running the farm. My sister's in Mexico with her husband. So
Do you have any other siblings, or is it just the two of you?
just the two of us. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
What about the next generation? Any?
Yes. So I have two little ones.
Yeah.
I have a daughter that's 2.5 and a son that's 3.5 months or almost 4 months old. He was born in December.
Congratulations.
Yeah. So, yep. And so yeah, we live 2 houses down from the farm here. My parents live in the farmhouse. When my sister is back for the season, she's in an apartment upstairs of the farmhouse. So we're all right here, which can be good and bad sometimes.
Yeah, there are challenges to running family businesses, that's for sure.
There are. That's for sure.
What would you say is the biggest misconception that people have about running a family farm?
That once the growing season is over, everything is all done, probably. Because probably the number one question I get is, especially this time of the year, is what do you do this time of the year? You can't do anything outside, right? Well, that's not really necessarily true, because I'm out pruning. But even like November, December, January, we're taking classes, going to educational conferences, keeping up on licenses, taxes. I mean, the business really, it is 365 pretty much. I mean, yes, we have a little more flexibility at that time, but we work our butts off in the growing season. So it kind of all balances out.
And in that growing season, how many hours a day are you working?
I could be working 60, 70, but it depends on 60, 70 a week, but
Yeah.
it just depends. It could be 12-hour day. It depends on a lot of it is dependent on weather, treating for pests and diseases. So if something pops up and we need to treat for it, somebody needs to be available to do that. So and then certainly our retail season, we're all pretty much working 7 days a week, probably 10 to 12-hour days, as owners, to make sure everything's going well, because we do offer a lot in that time. We're doing not just the U-pick, we offer wagon rides, we're doing corn mazes, we have food trucks that come, and we've done a couple contra dances. So all of that,
Wow.
takes a lot of energy, but is, it's for the benefit of us and for the benefit of our customers and our community. So
We'll have to have you back on the show in August, when the season
Yeah.
kicks off. We'll have
Definitely.
you back on, or we'll just re-air it.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
Make all our lives easier.
Yep.
What weather is obviously a threat. You've talked about pests and what is a bigger threat? Bad weather, a bad weather's year, or some kind of invasive pest that you hadn't anticipated?
Could be both.
Which one keeps you up at night?
Yeah, it could be both, because so a bad weather year. So 2 years ago, I mentioned that we lost all of our peaches to cold weather, but also that year we had a late frost in May, and we lost probably at least 50% of our crop due to frost, because all the flowers were open, and of course that cold weather, it kills the flower buds. So that was we lost one crop, then we lost a second crop, and so that was weather based. But there are also there's one disease that's can be particularly debilitating to orchards. It's called fire blight. It's a bacterial disease and spreads with wet weather. So if we have really wet weather, it spreads by falling water, and you get it in your trees. This disease can literally probably kill an orchard within 2 years if it's not managed.
So
Wow.
how do you plan on that contingencies? Like you never know what's going to happen. How do you plan for that?
You have the weather. It's a little,
Lots of prayers. Like I
yeah.
didn't sleep at night. How do you do that?
The what it is worrisome. It is worrisome. It's always something that's in the back of your mind, but I'm checking the weather 3 or 4 times a day. This time of the year, not as much, because the only thing at this point I'm really worried about is cold weather. Once we get to like April, May, then I'm looking towards frost, looking towards rain events. For the disease I mentioned, we do keep an antibiotic on stock, in stock, to manage that. You can only apply it a couple times before you start getting resistance. So the other option is we go through and cut it out.
So is there
so-
technology that can help you with that now, like sensors in the orchard or the trees or?
We don't have anything like that, but we're very well trained to spot this disease. And there are weather models that will predict infection periods for these certain diseases. So certain, the temperature, the humidity, the amount of rainfall. So we can get pretty close to when we know that we either need to treat for it, or, if it's a particularly wet year, we're just afternoons when it's dry, we're going through each row, cutting out anything that we see. And it's a process. It really is, but it's a challenge, and it's something that we need to do to protect our crop for sure.
Does it tend to affect like different trees? Like peaches were hurt, but the apples were fine. Like does it have different?
Fire blight is specific to, mostly it's apples and pears that is the one that where we see it the most. There are other diseases that affect peaches and plums and all the stone fruit. We manage those as well. It's not as big of a problem because it won't wipe out our trees in a couple of years if we don't catch it. So part of our pruning too this time of the year is we can see some of those infections where they've spread to, and we can cut it out before it gets to the point where it's spreading again. So it also gives it, like, pruning this time of the year gives us a chance to look at pretty much every single tree that we have on the property.
And you have 4,000 trees.
Oh, so yep, a little over 4,000. Yep,
you're very busy.
Wow.
We are. Yep.
What about you've mentioned rain and cold, but what about a hot, dry summer? Is that a problem, or is that something you can manage through watering?
Yep, hot and dry can be an issue. We are lucky that we have irrigation. So I don't know if I mentioned we have raspberries, so we have irrigation on those. Most of our apple trees are not irrigated, but the smaller variety, some of the smaller trees, we do have irrigation. And we have pumps in 2 irrigation ponds. One of those we can actually refill from a 3-acre pond that we have on our property. So the watering is not as much of an issue, but if the ponds don't regenerate and fill back up when it's particularly dry, that can be an issue. Hot weather can be an issue as well. You can get sun scald or some other things, and obviously, if it's humid, then we start seeing more disease issues. If it's dry, then it's maybe not as much of an issue for disease. So,
how many acres do you have?
We have about. So the whole property is I think about 300 acres. The actual amount of like fruit trees, I think we're close to like 14 or so.
Wow. That's a lot of responsibility.
It is.
It is. It is.
And then to manage the business too. So what have you seen in changes in the business environment or climate? What would be helpful to you?
As a small business, labor is a big issue for us. And I'm sure a lot of businesses are saying the same thing.
Oh yeah.
Yep. I mean, our, labor costs are a significant portion, of our just of our costs or of our expenses. And finding help sometimes is an issue as well. So that's that that's probably been the biggest change, I would say.
Yeah, we're all with you. I'm in the same situation. It's really hard to find people these days that want to work and
being able to pay them minimum. The minimum wage has gone way up. That's hard for us to absorb. And to keep, because I have one employee that has been here for 18 years. And he is invaluable. And as the minimum wage keeps going up, I'm raising his wage because he definitely deserves it. But I feel like there's got to be a point where something's got to change, in that sense.
Absolutely. We are talking with Matt McAdams. He is one of the family members of McDougal Orchards. Before we get to the lightning round that we like to finish the show with, tell us how people can reach you. Again, maybe we'll air this show again in August so that you can get some visitors over to the orchards. But tell us about your website, social media presence, and so forth.
Yep. So our website is McDougalOrchards.com. We have all the information that you would need. So we do offer a CSA. We're currently working on that. And all of the varieties that we grow are on that, as well as information on the activities. You can send us a message through there. If you'd like to reach out to me directly, my email is matt@McDougalOrchards.com. Pretty simple, MATT. And then we have a Facebook page this time of the year, Facebook and Instagram. This time of the year, we don't update as often because there's not as much to update on.
Right.
We'll start picking that up pretty soon. So Facebook is Pick Your Own at McDougal Orchards, and Instagram is McDougal.orchards.
All right. We will put all of that in the show notes as well, so that you can, if you're listening and you want to check that out, you can check out our show notes, and we will have all that information on there. You want to hit him with the first lightning round question?
So lightning round. What saying are you known for?
Ooh, good question. I'm not quite sure. I think different people would tell you different things.
Okay.
When I'm talking to my crew and we're doing pruning or something like that, I'm known for telling them kind of like, it's your this tree is your responsibility. So a lot of times I'll say, it's your tree, man. So telling them that, okay, this is your tree. You're responsible for making the decisions on all the pruning cuts and everything. I think I'm known for saying that. I'm not sure if there's anything else I'm known for, but we'll go with that.
We'll ask your kids in a few years.
Yeah,
sure they'll have plenty. They'll have
probably
plenty
no.
Probably no. Or we'll see. That was a good one, right?
Yeah.
Parents love to say. So let me ask you another question. Give us something about yourself that's interesting that wouldn't show up in a typical bio about you.
Well, I'm a giant Star Wars geek, so I guess that would be.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
All right. And which is your favorite episode?
I like the original trilogies.
Okay.
I think probably I would say A New Hope or Return of the Jedi. And we actually in our my wife and I's bedroom, she actually let me paint a mural of Endor with the Death Star over it. So I guess
Oh,
that
wow.
Wow.
That's a
yeah.
good wife there.
There you
Yeah.
go. Okay, so we also like to ask what books, podcasts, periodicals, or things are you listening to, or where do you go for your ongoing learning?
We work pretty closely with the University of Maine Cooperative Extension.
Yep.
So I'm also part of an organization called the Maine State Pomological Society. So it's a group of apple growers, kind of a group representing all of the commercial and U-pick. I don't want to say apple growers because a lot of the other folks also grow other fruit. Currently, I'm the vice president, so we put on a lot of informational talks and meetings and all that stuff. Uh, yeah, there's some guides online. New England Tree Fruit Guide is a great one that we use pretty heavily during the growing season. Um, yeah, there's a lot to list, but those are the big ones. But
Let's keep
University of
moving.
Maine Cooperative Extension, they have a research orchard up at Highmore Farm in Monmouth, so that's where we get a lot of our information. And they work with other universities, and so we see a lot of information come through them from those other universities as well.
All right. And last one, any good streaming recommendations? Any good shows you've been watching lately?
Well, with two kids under 3, I don't have a ton of time to
And you're out
to
pruning the trees.
yeah,
Sesame
when I'm not
Street.
pruning the trees. Yeah, there was
Is your 2.5-year-old discovered Miss Rachel?
she loves Miss Rachel. Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
she's
Miss Rachel
local.
is
She's
great.
Sanford.
Yep.
She grew up in Sanford.
Yeah. Yeah, she is. Yeah, I heard that. Yeah.
Yeah. She was born in Biddeford, but she went to Sanford High School.
Yep. 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 I think probably, the show that I really enjoyed was Ted Lasso.
Oh yeah, it's a
There
good
we
one.
Yeah, that was a great one. That was a great one.
Yeah. I think they have a new season coming up. I just heard.
Yeah, I heard that too. The Rookie, that's also a good one. It's with Nathan Fillion. I don't know if you're familiar with him.
Yeah. Is he a cop?
Yep, he's a
Yeah.
cop. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. In the LA Police Department. Yep.
That's
So
great.
Yeah.
Good. Well, Matt, thank you very much for
Yeah.
coming on the show. We appreciate it. And we wish you all the best. And hopefully it'll be a good growing season and you'll have lots of visitors.
yeah, we hope so. Yeah.
Yes, we all hope for beautiful weather.
We
That's
do,
right.
yes. Yeah,
Especially in
it was
Maine.
almost 50 degrees here today. So I was dressed this morning because it was like 25, and by noontime I was taking off all my layers. So it's coming. It's coming.
All right. That's good. Sooner the better.
Well,
Yeah.
Thanks for coming
joining
on with
us.
Chit Chat with Derek and Kat.
Yeah, thank you.
Have a great day.
Thank
You too.
Bye.
Bye-bye.